Welcome to the Sarpy County Board of Equalization meeting. Today is Tuesday, June 25th, 2024. It's 3:00 p.m. Please silence all cell phones. A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located on the north wall of the county boardroom. We have present today Commissioners Kelly, Klug, Warren, and Burmeister. Commissioner Mixon is absent today, along with our County Administrator Bonnie Moore and our County Clerk Deb Hotaling. We also have somewhere our County Assessor Dan Pittman, and I'm sure our County Treasurer Jeff Meixel is back there somewhere. Oh, right here. Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll start with item 4, the consent equalization agenda with regular items of routine business. Would anyone like to see any items removed from the consent agenda, or if not, a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Klug, second by Commissioner Warren. Any discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion carries.
Item 5.1 is tax corrections 17429 to 17434. Dan Pittman, County Assessor.
Good afternoon. Do you have any questions on these?
Questions for Dan?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Klug, second by Commissioner Kelly. Any discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion carries.
Item 5.2 is notice of valuation changes 456 approvals 7. Dan Pittman, County Assessor.
These are all agricultural special valuation applications. They'll get a new change of valuation notice once they go into Greenbelt.
Any questions for Dan?
Motion to approve.
Motion
Second.
to approve by Commissioner Klug, second by Commissioner Warren. Any discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion carries.
Item 5.3 is motor vehicle exemption application, recommended denial 1. Jeff Meixel, County Treasurer.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Brief review on a Form 457. Right off the paper itself, it's an application for exemption from motor vehicle taxes by qualifying nonprofit organizations. That's great. The vast majority of the applications our office gets are perfectly in line with what I deem the intent of the statute to be. Charitable work, hauling stuff to homeless, or food, or clothes, that type of thing. Recently, we had an uptick in home-based ministries who are asking for an exemption for their luxury vehicles under this same format. I find that problematic because I don't think that it truly meets the intent of the law. These vehicles are anywhere, what I've been seeing, anywhere from $30,000 to $80,000 in value. This one in particular, they use it to drive back and forth to churches, other ministries, and across the country to conferences and seminars and the like. That's right on the document itself. I don't think that meets the intent of the statute. I'm asking for your support in this denial because I don't believe it's right to ask the citizens of Sarpy County to subsidize these particular kind of exemption requests. Questions, comments?
Questions for Mr. Meixel.
Was this marked 100% use?
They all are. We don't have any leeway on that. If it's not 100%, then it's not valid.
Do we know otherwise? Can we show that they're being used for personal use, or this particular vehicle?
We don't do investigative work, and we don't go to that level of questioning. We take the application, we review it, and again, most of the time it sails right through. But these are the ones that I kick back.
I understand the applicant is here. If we'd like to have, if the applicant is interested in addressing the board, we can do that now if that's the questions that the board has. Would the applicant be interested in coming forward? Come on,
I want to talk about my particular application.
perfect. Come on forward to the podium, and if you'll state your name and spell your last name for us, that'll be great.
Yeah, David Christensen, Christensen.
Perfect.
And I'm the president of Current Fire Ministries, which is a Nebraska religious corporation since 1994, so over 30 years. We had, my wife's actually the ordained minister, and she's traveled all around the country, and we've been doing this every year for 28 years. And then 2 years ago, we were told, well, you have to mark 100% or it's going to get disapproved. So marked 100% from the previous treasurer, and it was approved. This year, I marked 100%, but it was not approved. I didn't really get an explanation of why not. Like I say, we existed for a long time, so that, and I don't understand the form, because the form says, what's your use? Well, it says you put 100%, and then it says, well, if you're not 100%, how much? I don't know why I would ask that if you need to be 100%. So I think the form is a little outdated or something, but it's, she's a very low budget ministry. She hardly a day goes by she doesn't go see somebody, meet other Christian leaders, go to conferences, this and that. We have another car for our personal use. We live in Arizona now about 5 months out of the year, so the car sits in the garage also here in Gretna. But anyway, so that's, I guess I just didn't know exactly why it was all of a sudden now it's a no. And I guess I have to admit, I can't say that every single mile is on there. I mean, we do have another car, but who knows, my wife may run over to Walmart or something and, have some miles like that. So it's hard to say that every single, you don't touch it except for that, although we're not here a lot. We do have another vehicle, so it's just, she's very low budget, so $500 some for paying for a registration fees is a big chunk out of her budget, which is something she can't use to help people and help the community. So I guess that's my main thing, just trying to get an explanation, wondering why not approval.
So, Mr. Christensen, are you saying that there is personal use on this vehicle? Is that what you're saying, is that it's occasionally used for personal use for certain items?
She may, yeah. I don't want to lie about that. She probably does use it every now and then, but we do have another car, and the main purpose, I mean, it's owned by the ministry. The ministry pays all the expenses, pays all the gas, pays operating expenses and any payments and so forth. So, but yeah, it's there. So, but been doing it for over 30 years, so I'm not quite sure if the statute changed somewhere along the line, or somebody just found somebody and said, oh, it's got to be 100% now. I don't know, but
I don't know the answer to that question either, whether it changed or whether we just got better at looking at it. I'm not sure. It statutorily does require 100%, which is why the form asks that question. Discussed amongst the commissioners that it's a hard standard to say 100%, and perhaps that statute is something that should be looked at so that there's a percentage, calculation.
It's strange though too that if it's statutory, why do we even need approval? It's either you are or you aren't.
Right.
So
We've asked that question
Anyway.
ourselves several times, but
thanks for your time. I just want to find out what the situation is, so I don't waste my time in the future filling one out.
absolutely.
Okay. Can I ask you a question real
Sure.
quick? It says the car is a 2024 and it has a value of $30,000, but I can't see anywhere on the form where it says what kind of car it is. Where
That
is
should be on there somewhere.
that says 2019 BMW.
Yes.
Oh, is that what it is? A 2019 BMW?
Yep.
Okay, so the slippery slope here for the taxpayers and for the Board of Equalization is everybody in the county, if it's not 100% used, everybody in the county that goes to church every Sunday and claim their home-based ministry, and they use the vehicle to go to church and go to church socials and go to other sorts of things that support whatever their faith entails. So I think 100% means that you're actually a practicing minister and you use it as part of your profession of administering to your congregation. And so I think the treasurer hit the nail on the head. We're seeing a lot of these.
Yeah.
And so the sad thing about that is I think in some cases, they're probably legitimate uses, but you know, one bad apple spoils the whole bunch. If you got some people abusing the system, then it puts everybody's head on a swivel. And you know, we may be overcompensating here, but there's a chance if it's a statutory thing, that the pendulum can swing back to somewhere that, you know, makes the requirement for proof a little less onerous.
Yeah, the difference between just people going to church would be this is a religious corporation, which is
Okay.
also 501c3 approved, so. Okay,
Perfect. Any other questions for Mr. Christensen?
well, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for coming. Yep. Mr. Meixel?
In fairness to Mr. Christensen, he makes a valid point on the 100% or zero. Our hands are tied on that. I'm seeking legislative relief next session to make that variable. I mean, this form makes liars out of people. Not casting aspersions, I'm just saying nobody has anything they use 100% for one intended purpose. So let's have the flexibility to make it somewhat less than 100%. That doesn't change where we are at the moment, though. But, and this isn't a one issue gotcha on my part. That's not what I'm doing. I just, in the aggregate, it doesn't seem fair to the citizens to subsidize this particular one. Just wanted to share that.
Thank you. Any other questions for Jeff? Anyone want to make a motion?
Thank you, Board.
Make a motion to approve the treasurer's recommendation to deny all exemption.
Motion to approve the treasurer's recommendation by Commissioner Kelly. Is there a second?
Well, I don't really want to. I'll go ahead and second.
Second by Commissioner Klug. Any discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion carries.
All agenda items having been addressed as published, the Board of Equalization is adjourned. We'll reset for the Board of Commissioners.
Okay.
Welcome to the Sarpy County Board of Commissioners meeting. Today is still Tuesday, June 25th, 2024. It's 3:12 p.m. We have present today Commissioners Kelly, Klug, Warren, and Burmeister. Commissioner Mixon is absent today, along with our County Administrator Bonnie Moore and our County Clerk Deb Hotaling. We're going to start with awards, proclamations, and presentations. 3.1, Sarpy County Teen Court recognition. Reagan Bergston for her work ethic and dedication to the Teen Court program. Reagan is a recent graduate and has received a $500 scholarship from Teen Court for her future studies. And Leonard Mathias, Sarpy County Teen Court Coordinator, if you want to come forward, and we'll have the board come down in the front here.
Welcome back.
All right, thank you to the board for having me. It's my honor to present the 2024 Sarpy County Teen Court Award to Reagan Bergston. I just want to provide some background information on what Teen Court program is all about. So for those who don't know, Teen Court's composed of teenagers 13 to 19 years old from all local surrounding middle schools and high schools, and home schools as well. Everybody in the courtroom is a teenager. Prosecuting attorneys are teenagers, defense attorneys are teenagers, all the jury members are teenagers. The only adults in the courtroom are myself and the judge who's a Creighton Law student. So kids listen to cases such as shoplifting, criminal mischief, theft, third-degree assault, disturbing the peace, minor possession of alcohol, possession of marijuana, and trespassing. And they decide which consequences will help them be effective in not breaking the law again. So, and they had consequences as far as community service, classes, apology letters, essays, different things at their disposal that they can assign to the defendant. So the aim of teen court is to use positive peer pressure to help the defendant not to break the law again, and to provide them with alternatives as well. So some of the benefits of being a volunteer are community service hours for the defendant, or for the prosecution and defense attorneys. All the jury members, they can get community service hours as participating, hands-on experience with the career in law enforcement, learn how the juvenile justice system works, and those type of things. And more information about our Teen Court program can be found on our website, sarbteencourt.com, and you can also make a donation on our website as well if you see fit. But Reagan has been involved in the program since she was in 10th grade. She started out as a jury member. I had no idea she would develop into a cornerstone of our program. She's had a tremendous impact on Teen Court, spanning from, she's done all the positions, jury member, prosecuting attorney, and her least favorite, defense attorney. When I think of Reagan, a few words stand out. Dedicated. I can always depend on Reagan to show up when she says she's gonna be there. During her time in Teen Court, she's attended 35 times for a total of 70 hours in the program. Adaptable. There have been a few occasions where she's been the lead attorney, so sometimes they'll have 1 or 2 cases, and usually they have groups of 2 or 3 attorneys. Sometimes she's the only attorney on the case, and she'll have 2 cases, so she'll have to do all the preparation where she's writing opening and closing statements, doing direct cross-examination and direct examination, and she has to do all those things by herself. So there's a few occasions where she's done that by herself with 2 cases, in addition to training another kid who's never been an attorney before, so she's trained them as well. So it's a grueling process, but she's taken it in stride and shown true professionalism. Confident. Attorneys arrive early so that they can write down questions that they're going to ask during the direct and cross-examination. So one day I asked her, Reagan, how come you don't have any questions written down? She's like, don't worry, I got it all up here. And then just watching her work, watching her in action, I'd be impressed because she would come up with questions that I never thought of in the moment as well. So she's phenomenal. It's been an honor to witness her progression for someone who just observed the jury to someone starting out as somebody who just sat in the jury. Because like I said, as a sophomore, she just sat in the jury and observed, and now she commands the courtroom as the prosecuting attorney. So it's been an honor to watch that. She will be taking her talents to Wichita State in the fall, where she'll be majoring in criminal justice. And then on her volunteer application, when she filled out when she was in 10th grade, there was a question on there asking her to describe why she would like to participate in Teen Court. And she wrote, she would like to give teens a second chance. Well, Reagan, you've done that and so much more. Please join me in congratulating Reagan Bergson as the recipient of the 2024 Sarpy County Teen Court Award. I'll take a picture.
Right there, just
Congratulations, good job.
We'll move on to item number 4, Commissioners, Administrators, Announcements, and Comments, starting with Commissioner Kelly.
No comment.
No comments, thank you.
Sarpy County has become known for its problem-solving courts. And I didn't piggyback this on that last comments, but the teen court is one of them. Another one yesterday, I was able to go to the adult drug court. If you have never been to a graduation at an adult drug court. It's absolutely, truly inspiring, where people are given that second chance and sometimes third and more, but they're given those chances and they're absolutely turning lives around. So it's proud to be a part of some of the programs that SARPI has, and congratulations yesterday to the graduates of the adult drug court.
Bonnie?
No comments?
Okay, we will move on to item number 5, the consent commissioners agenda. Would anyone like to see any items removed from the
Motion
consent?
to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Kelly, second by Commissioner Klug. Any discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion carries.
Item 6.1 is Resolution 2024-184, Interlocal Cooperation Act Agreement for continuation of the Papillion Creek Watershed Partnership for a term beginning July 1, 2024 and ending June 30, 2029. Kelly Jeck, Planning Specialist.
Since 2001, Sarpy County has been a member of the Papillion Creek Watershed Partnership. The partnership has established regionally common goals and standards to improve water quality and manage stormwater in the watershed. Partnership members are City of Bellevue, Boys Town, City of Gretna, City of La Vista, City of Omaha, City of Papillion, City of Ralston, Sarpy County, and the Papio, Missouri Natural Resources District. In 2009, the Papillion Creek Watershed Management Plan was finalized. The management policies included structural projects such as grade control structures and flood control reservoirs like Walnut Creek, Prairie Queen, and non-structural policies such as private development, creek setback, and on-site stormwater retention requirements. Every 5 years, the partnership reviews the progress on the plan and sets priorities for the next 5 years. The current interlocal agreement for the partnership expires June 30th. This request proposes the renewal of the interlocal agreement for the continuation of the partnership through 2029. For this renewal, no major policy updates to the stormwater management policies are proposed. The NRD will remain the administering agent of the Watershed Fund, which is comprised of an annual contribution from each partner, watershed fees collected by each community, and Papio NRD general property tax dollars. This fund is used to implement the projects of the Watershed Management Plan. Sarpy County's area, if you look at the map, we're the crossed hatched at the top. Actually, we're a little less than this. I noticed Gretna has still has a little some in this area, but we're down to a small area. So our yearly contribution will go from, it was $15,500 down to $7,000. This renewal also includes watershed fee schedule, and this fee is collected at the time of building permit issuance. I think I have both on here, yeah. Planning Department recommends approval of the interlocal agreement for the continuation of the Papillion Creek Watershed Partnership, of which Sarpy County is a member, along with the other communities previously mentioned.
Any questions for Kelly?
Are these use fees or connection fees?
Use fees.
Use fees, okay.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Klug. Any discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion carries.
Item 6.2 is Resolution 2024-185, Interlocal Cooperation Agreement Act for the continuation of the Southern Sarpy Watersheds Partnership for a term beginning July 1, 2024 and ending June 30, 2029. Kelly Jeck, Planning Specialist.
The Southern Sarpy Watersheds Partnership was formed in 2016 to establish the framework for the eventual development of a watershed plan in southern Sarpy County. At the time, interim policies were adopted for use, and an engineering firm was selected to assist the partnership in the development of a watershed plan. Southern Sarpy Watersheds management area is an approximately 75 square mile area that includes Buffalo Creek, Springfield Creek, Zweibel Creek, and Turkey Creek basins, and is also the area where sewer service is planned to be available. The overall goal of the partnership is proactive management within this area to manage stormwater, to protect infrastructure, and preserve natural resources by establishing regionally common goals and standards for stormwater that flows south to the Platte River. Members of this partnership are City of Bellevue, City of Gretna, City of Papillion, City of Springfield, Sarpy County, and the Papio, Missouri River Natural Resource District. The partnership is proposing a 5-year interlocal agreement and a watershed management plan, including revised stormwater management policies for all new development and significant redevelopment. So key policies, lowers the requirement for on-site stormwater detention from 100-year to 10-year storm events, and this lowers the costs for developers and results in more usable land for developers. The same creek setback, 3:1 plus 50, that is currently required will continue. And the unique thing about the policies is that as developments occur, developers will require grade control structures along all identified streams to prevent degradation of more than 4 feet. And these grade control structures, let me show you one. That's an example. They'll be reimbursed, grade control structure costs will be reimbursed to the developer by the partnership. The NRD has developed design standards for the grade control structures in actually a manual, a permitting guidance document. And areas that have been already platted prior to these policies, the partnership will construct the necessary structures. Of course, the overall goal of this policy is to prevent substantial stream degradation from occurring. The interlocal agreement calls for the Papio NRD to continue acting as the administering agent. There's an annual contribution from each partner. Sarpy County's contribution is $51,000. Communities will continue to collect watershed fees, and these fees will be the fund that reimburses the development grade control projects and supports other projects of the partnership. With that, the Planning Department recommends approval of the interlocal agreement for the continuation of the Southern Sarpy Watersheds Partnership, of which Sarpy County is a member, along with the other communities previously mentioned.
Any questions for Kelly?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Kelly, second by Commissioner Klug. Any discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion approved.
Item 6.3 is Resolution 2024-186, amended Sarpy County Master Fee Schedule for Planning and Building Department effective July 1, 2024. Kelly Jeck, Planning Specialist.
And so our Master fee schedule for the planning department needs to be updated to include the new fees. They go over 5 years.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Kelly, second by Commissioner Klug. Any discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion approved.
Item 7.1 is public hearing and resolution 2024-175, increased 2024 fiscal year appropriations for 3 special revenue and fund budgets. Jenny Rock, Budget Financial Reporting Manager.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Thank you for putting the most exciting thing first on the regular commission, so I appreciate that. So today we'll have a series of year-end fiscal agenda items to facilitate a few transfers to obtain additional and revised budget appropriations to ensure we're following state statutes. The first item, 7.1, requests a total of $5,373,733 in additional budget appropriations for 3 special revenue funds within Sarpy County budget. Nebraska Statute 13-511 outlines the requirements for revision of an adopted budget, which includes a public hearing. Amounts requested, along with reasons for needing an increase in the appropriated budget, include $51,733 for the Mental Health Collaborative Fund due to additional funds received after the adoption of the fiscal year 2024 budget, $22,000 to the Planning Papio Watershed Sewer Ops Fund due to additional funds received after the adoption of the fiscal year 2024 budget. And finally, $5,300,000 for the Health Insurance Fund due to the establishment of the fund after the adoption of the fiscal year 2024 budget. So with your approval today, our fiscal year 2024 budget will be revised to reflect these changes and filed with the Nebraska Auditor of Public Accounts. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have on this one.
Any questions for Jenny? Okay, anyone want to make a motion? Oh, I'm sorry. It's a public hearing. Would anyone like to be heard on this matter? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Kelly, second by Commissioner Klug. Any discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion approved.
Item 7.2 is Resolution 2024-179, authorized cash transfers for the 2024 fiscal year. Jenny Rock, Budget Financial Reporting Manager.
Okay, this year we only have one cash transfer, and it is from a grant fund to pay back the inheritance tax fund from 2022. In this grant fund, the monies had to be expended first, and then reimbursement is claimed, but in some cases, reimbursement is not received until after the fiscal year end, which can cause the fund to have a negative balance, which is a no-no. So this was the case back in fiscal year 2022. So in order to have the fund, in order to avoid having the negative fund balance, we borrowed funds from the inheritance tax. This grant fund is now closed, and those funds are going to be paid back to the inheritance tax fund. Any questions on this one?
Questions for Jenny?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Kelly, second by Commissioner Klug. Any discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion approved.
Item 7.3 is Resolution 2024-188, revised 2024 fiscal year appropriations for certain departments within the general fund. Jenny Rock, Budget Financial Reporting Manager.
So this resolution requests additional appropriations for the 2024 fiscal year budget for several departments within the general fund. So please note that the overall budget for the general fund does not increase as a result of this. This is just merely a realignment of budgets. Some departments will have transfers coming from another department under their purview, while other departments will have transfers coming from the miscellaneous general budget, which contains the overall reserve budget. Scheduled budget overages was attached to the agenda item. The estimated amount to be transferred is $429,000 as compared to $711,700 last year. So, and as I previously mentioned, these transfers do not increase or decrease the general fund budget. They're just realigning budgetary amounts. So in total, the budget to actual variances of all the departments, with the exception of miscellaneous general, payroll accrual, capital projects, cash reserve transfers, and the certificate of participation fund within, or excuse me, department within the general fund add up to a surplus of around 3.3 million. This includes the departments with the overages. I'm happy to answer any questions you have on this resolution, and a departmental representative may also be in attendance to answer any questions that I cannot.
Questions for Jenny?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Klug. Any discussion?
I just have one comment, and I think this is my 11th budget year, and every year I see autopsy expenses are higher than anticipated. Again, that's probably true, but maybe we should budget more money so we don't have to keep transferring money at the end of every year into our autopsy fund. Just a recommendation, because as our population grows, I'm sure our costs are going to go up.
Any further discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion carries.
Item 7.4 is Resolution 2024-187, Personnel Rules and Regulations Revision for the Classified Service, Rule 12, Types of Leave, Regulation 2, Vacation Leave, and Regulation 10, Professional Leave. Mary Davis, HR Director.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. These revisions are recommended for Rule 12, Types of Leave, Regulation 2, Vacation Leave, and Regulation 10, Professional Leave. Changes to vacation leave policy would add additional vacation over the next 2 years for eligible non-union classified employees as we phase out professional leave. These changes are consistent with what the board did with the personnel policy manual for the unclassified employees. So employees who have used less than 24 hours of professional leave for the remaining balance of, for those employees who have used less than 24 hours of professional leave on July 1, payroll will transfer over the remaining balance into vacation. On January 1 of 2024 or 2025, that would be reduced to 12 hours. And then it would be phased out completely in 2026. The second change of that, and if you remember, the professional leave is leave granted that in lieu of, for those exempt employees, in lieu of working overtime. They don't receive cash overtime, so they're asked to work hours outside of their work schedule, and so they're allowed to take up to 24 hours of leave per year for that. The second change would allow non-union classified employees that are rehired by the county. They would be credited for previous time served if they served a minimum of 5 consecutive years. So if they have served 5 consecutive years, they leave, they come back to the county, their accrual would start at that 5-year rate for vacation only. And then Rule 12, Regulation 10, professional leave, that provision would be eliminated completely, replaced with what we call personal leave, and that is for non-union classified employees that are hired after July 1. They would receive 5 days of personal leave to be used during that first year of employment while they're accruing additional time off. If they leave county service prior to 1 year of service, they are not paid for that time. It doesn't go, they don't take that with them. If they make it through their 1 year probationary period or here after 1 year of service, that would be transferred over to their vacation bucket. Okay. And then I just wanted to address a couple of things. These items were presented to the Personnel Policy Board on July 12th of June 12th this month. And at that time, the Personnel Policy Board, there were 4 members present. 2 of the members voted for the changes. 2 of the members voted against the changes. Therefore, the amendments failed. And then also during that hearing, during that Personnel Policy Board, there were comments made regarding the information that I had presented. And so I just wanted to clarify that with this board, if you had a chance to listen to that. The first one was in regard to Minnehaha County. Minnehaha County, in addition to the time off that I had provided, Minnehaha County provides extra sick leave to be used for catastrophic illnesses. So if an employee runs out of their own sick time they might be eligible to receive an additional 6 days per year. That time, I did not include that in my calculations, because to me, that is time, just as we have our sick leave bank, that is time that is donated to someone or given to someone if they meet certain criteria. The second one was Washington County, Wisconsin. And
Hey, Mary?
Yep.
Could you talk a little closer to them? I'm having a hard time picking up what you're saying.
sure.
Thanks.
So Washington County, Wisconsin, they have a PTO program, and they divide that into Class 1 and Class 2 employees. Class 1 is regular exempt management staff, if you will. Class 2 is for department heads. So I compared ours to the Class 1. Comments were made that the employees received 30 days, and I believe it was from years 1 to 7 was that time period. 30 days is how many days they can accrue over time. It's to the max of 30 days, but they accrue 20 hours, as the chart indicated, in years 1 through 6 or 1 through 7. So there was no change to that. And then Lynn County, I was informed that Lynn County had 12 holidays. I had 11 on my sheet. I recontacted the personnel department, talked to Lisa in the HR department, and the county did provide Juneteenth to their employees. They now have 12 designated holidays. So I changed that on the chart. And so with that, those chart numbers still, they do reflect that Sarpy County with the CIR comparables are anywhere from 2 to 4 days above market. And with our local labor market, we are slightly under. So it didn't change the outcome, but I just wanted to address that for you. And then I'll take any questions that you may have.
Questions for Mary? Okay. I know we had a request from Zach Hergenrader to address the board. So if you want to come up to the podium, Zach, state your name, spell your last name, just so we have it in the record. I see that we have other individuals here. If anyone else is here on this particular issue, please come to the front row. And if you can keep your comments to 3 minutes or less, that'd be great. Sure. Thanks.
Good afternoon. My name is Zach Hergenrader, Senior Engineer for Public Works. I'm here this afternoon to speak against the proposed changes to the personnel rules and regulations, specifically Rule 12, Regulation 10 regarding the professional leave. The current policy states that because exempt employees may be required to periodically work long or irregular hours to complete their work without compensation, attend various meetings, and participate in business-related functions outside of normal business hours, professional leave may be granted. This is something that we're all too familiar with in Public Works, whether it's coming to these board meetings, which we're already 15 minutes past our 3:30 time off, visiting with property owners on project sites after those property owners get off of work, or if we receive phone calls or emails from commissioners expecting immediate results. We're salaried employees and do not get financial compensation for those additional hours that we work outside of normal working hours. And because we're salaried, these 3 professional leave days are no cost to the county. This proposed change was brought before the Personnel Policy Board at the June 12th meeting and failed, as Mary stated. The information that I'll be presenting today was also shared with the Personnel Policy Board. What's the point of having a Personnel Policy Board if a motion fails, yet we have a commissioner that still pushes it in front of the Board of Commissioners?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
What's the point of having a county attorney's office then, if using your rationale? The county attorney provides recommendations to the county board. They provide us an opinion.
Okay.
It's our decision whether we accept their advice or we don't. The Personnel Policy Board is similar in that regard. They make a recommendation. We either accept their recommendation or we don't. So your point's kind of irrelevant.
Okay, fair enough. So at this Personnel Policy Board meeting, Mary Davis was asked, how many department heads were in favor of removing the professional days from the policy. She responded by stating none. There were no department heads for Sarpy County that were in favor of getting rid of these professional days. Again, we have one commissioner who supervises 0 employees pushing policies that have no support from the department heads that will have a lasting effect on these departments. Also at the Personnel Policy Board meeting, Commissioner Kelly spoke in favor of the policy change in an effort to make benefits for all employees equal. I actually agree with that. In a perfect world, the jobs at Sarpy County are not equal. We all have specified duties that are different. There's some employees that start at 8:30, end at 4:30, pick up the next day where they left off. We're different in Public Works. We're expected to be out there speaking with homeowners, property owners, be on the job site, watching over contractors, answering phone calls from commissioners at all hours. It's whatever we need to do to complete our job. We don't get paid overtime. Our only compensation up to this point has been those 3 professional days off. If you really wanted to make benefits equal for all employees, you wouldn't take away existing benefits from employees. You'd figure out a way to bring everybody up to the same level. As a department, we're already struggling to hire new employees. We have a civil engineer position that's been vacant for some time now. We have had 1 qualified candidate in that time who ultimately declined the position due to Sarpy County's poor vacation policies. In the past, these 3 professional leave days have been used as an extra incentive when hiring new employees. Sarpy County employees have already lost their wellness benefits with no replacement in sight. Thanks, Commissioner Kelly. If these professional days are taken away, it'll hamstring us even further. The spreadsheet that I have here
Thank you.
Thank you.
I need a copy too. I'm sorry. Thank you very much.
So this spreadsheet that I've just handed out.
Do you need this till you're done?
No,
Do you
that's
need this till
okay.
you're done?
You can keep that one.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Let's see. The spreadsheet that I handed out shows just how far behind we are compared to other jurisdictions in the area. The hours of leave are broken down by types of leave per years of service with the total number of vacation days per year. For example, if we have an employee that's worked for Sarpy County for 10 years, you'll see that they receive 42 days of vacation. That includes annual leave, sick leave, holidays, and the 2 floating holidays. That same employee would hit 42 days, that same 42 days of vacation in half the time had they been working for Douglas County, Lancaster County, Pottawatomie County, City of Papillion, City of La Vista, City of Omaha, or Offutt Air Force Base. They'd reach that same time off in half the time that we're seeing here at the county. These are our competitors when it comes to hiring new employees.
Can I ask you a
I'd like to
question?
finish, please.
Offutt Air Force Base?
Yes,
So you're talking about the 30 days of leave that a military guy gets,
I'm talking about civilians on base.
civilian on base?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you not believe that civilians are able to work on base? Because I worked there in CE. I know what the benefits are.
You worked as a civilian?
Yes, I did.
Then why did you come to Sarpy?
Because I thought it was a better opportunity. I'd like to finish, though. We're failing miserably when it comes to vacation benefits, especially when we're trying to hire new employees. It needs to be rectified. I urge the commissioners to vote against approving the revisions to the personnel rules and regulations, Rule 12, Regulation 10, regarding professional leave. I'd also urge the commissioners to look at what can be done to increase time off accruals for current employees and new employees coming in. Thank you, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Zach? Any additional, sorry, did you have a question for Zach? Okay. Any additional questions for Mary? Mary, I do have a,
I do have a question for Mary.
I do too. Go ahead, Don.
So Mary, I apologize because you might have said this already, but I'm having a hard time picking up your soft voice.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
Oh, yeah.
okay. It's not your fault. It's my ears.
You're fine.
Did you say that when you look at our CIR comparables, our total compensation, no, I'm sorry, not our total compensation. Our time off is favorable by 2 to 4 days above our comparables?
No, we're 2 to 4 days above.
Above.
Yes. And
Okay.
and then we're lower on the local market.
Okay, thank you.
And how many employees does this policy affect? Do we know?
Yes, I had that information before.
29.
It was at 29?
29.
Thank you.
29 fit in the category, and then
Of this category, I believe it's 29.
do we know how many used it last year?
I know it was less than 29.
Okay.
It wasn't the full number.
And do we have?
I believe the number was 15 at the Personnel Policy Board. So roughly half.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner Kelly.
And then,
Well, so my only comment is we have 700 employees, and we're talking about 15 people here. And the reality is this board has been working hard through collective bargaining and other things to normalize the benefits package, between all the different various employment groups. We've already eliminated this for the unclassified. And this is just the final step to bring everybody into the same standard and make the statement that everybody works hard in Sarpy County. And we value everybody's time equally. So it is what it is. I know every place I've ever been hired as a salaried employee, I was told how many days off I was going to get. But no one ever told me I only had to work 40 hours. Never. You do the work until the job's completed. That's what a salaried employee does everywhere. Not just in Sarpy County, but everywhere. So I think this proposal is a good thing for the county because there won't be haves and have-nots. Everybody will be on the same playing field. And I will take what Zach said at heart. If we want to do something, let's improve everybody's benefits. But let's not cherry pick. That's how we got into this problem in the first place. Some collective bargaining group shows up, they negotiate a great contract, they walk out, everybody's happy, and then 4 other collective bargaining units are not happy because they got something I don't have. It's just not good for morale. It's not good for the team to have different standards across the organization. It's not good. And this initiative will eliminate that.
do we have any indication of how many of those 29 people are working more than 40 hours over the year's period of time, 40 hours a week?
Just by looking at the number of people, or the people that took that time, I would say majority of them work, over 40 hours a week on occasion. I mean, at times, for sure.
And if
I
you
don't know
average that
exactly.
out over the year period of time, do we think it's more than 40 hours a week if you average out over the year, or do we think that averages out, or do you know?
I can't answer that with a definite answer. I would say that, in my professional opinion, salaried employees do not typically work just 40 hours a week on average. They would average, in my opinion, above 40 hours a week during the course of the year, for sure.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Any other questions for Mary?
And just a couple more comments. Sorry. But when you come on board, in a salaried position, you're usually compensated for what the expectations of the job are. And that compensation is normally much, much higher than our hourly staff makes. And that's to compensate you right up front for those times where there's going to be surges and you're going to be asked to work more hours. I mean, I'm sure that the sheriff's office or the Juvenile Justice Center, or the Corrections Department, or 911, or any of our 24/7 kind of organizations can all cite examples where they've gone to the mat and worked overtime without being called out and specifically compensated for it. The compensation is the total compensation package that they sign on for when they become an employee of Sarpy County. That includes pay, that includes sick leave, that includes compensation, that includes health care, that includes life insurance, vision, and a whole other bunch of different benefits that make up a total compensation package. But the one thing that isn't the same is what your starting salary is. That is adjusted based on comparables, based on local market of what is a competitive salary. So I just feel like our people are paid well and their benefit packages are great. I mean, as a guy that works in the commercial sector, and I brought this up at the Personnel Policy Board, and Commissioner Klug and Commissioner Burmeister both work in the private sector. They know what I'm talking about. We don't have the kinds of benefits that we offer our employees in Sarpy County. And that's okay, because the services we provide in Sarpy County are essential. Their public safety, their quality of life, their infrastructure, their roads, like our engineers department takes care of. People depend on us to be there to provide these services so that they can live normal, happy lives and not even have to think twice about it. But I feel like we compensate our employees for what we're asking them to do, and we always have, and we always will. So one last point I would say, anybody, whether they're exempt or classified or unclassified, that was receiving this benefit had to have permission from their supervisor to even use it in the first place. That same supervisor also has the flexibility to give them flex time. Take a couple extra hours off tomorrow, Joe. Hey, you put in 60 hours this week, take Friday off. We're good. That happens all the time. It happens all the time, and it should happen. You should reward people for hard work. But having a benefit that only serves 15 people out of 700 is not a good thing. It's just not. It's bad for morale, and I think we need to eliminate it.
Any other comments or questions? Somebody want to make a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Kelly,
Second.
second by Commissioner Klug. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion carries.
Item 7.5 is Resolution 2024-174, award the low bid for the Cornhusker Road, 216th Street and 204th Street Highway 631 turn lane, Project C-7723-06, road improvements to Graham Construction in the amount of $3,912,219.25. Scott Bovick, Deputy Administrator.
Thank you, Commissioners. The purchasing department went out to bid on this road project, and we received 7 bids. The low bid was from Graham Construction in the amount of $3,912,219.25. The highest bidder was right at $4.5 million, and the engineer's estimate for the project was $4.7 million. As you can see on the map, the county will be paving 2 lanes of Cornhusker Road and 2 lanes of 216th Street. We'll also be adding a traffic signal on Highway 631 and Cornhusker, which will not only benefit this development, but the property owners to the east who are now forced to make either go straight or make a left-hand turn to go southbound on Highway 631. The project will start this summer. The contractor does have 365 calendar days for completion. Graham has indicated an interest in trying to complete it this year. The benefit to them on this project is it's pretty wide open. There's no traffic really that needs to use it, so it's kind of an open area for them to work. As you remember, we do have an interlocal agreement with the development to the south named Highland Trails. This kind of shows you their plat there, their development, including proposed Gretna Elementary School on the southeast corner of 216th and Cornhusker. The development will pay 50% of all the costs for this project, and then in the future, the property owners to the north and the property owners to the west of this development will be responsible to add the third lane. That's the typical county policy for this project. So yeah, that's the project. Graham was the low bidder, and happy to answer any questions you have.
Questions for Scott?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Klug, second by Commissioner Warren. Any discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion carries.
Item 7.6 is Resolution 2024-182, award the professional services agreement for construction management for the Cornhusker Road, 216th Street, 204th Street, Highway 631, turn lane, project C-77 23-06 to HGM Associates in the amount of $584,205. Scott Bovick.
Thank you, Commissioners. This is to provide construction management services with the assistance of a consultant. HGM was selected. We've worked with them on many projects. They do a very good job. We did receive 7 proposals, so we're on any project. We are, per the board's direction and Bonnie's direction, going out to competitive selection for all professional services. And so we did receive 7 proposals. HGM was the firm that was selected. We negotiated that fee. They will be responsible for assisting us with compliance with all the NDOT requirements that go along with improvements on the highway system. And so those services are reflected in their estimate, and it's also a not to exceed contract. And then finally, Highland Trails is responsible for 50% of this engineering cost. Happy to answer any questions you have.
Questions?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Klug.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Warren. Any discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion carries.
Item 7.7 is Resolution 2024-180, award the low bid for the 108th Street improvements, Mitchell Road to Platteview Road, project C-77 23-14 to Graham Construction in the amount of $1,257,448.10. Scott Bovick, Deputy Administrator.
Scott, before you comment on those, I just want to note there's several road projects on here that you have resolutions for. And Zach was here a few minutes ago. Danielle was here as well. Did anybody, but they've since left, did they reach out to you to make comment on any of these?
I did not get a comment on any of these.
Thank you.
Anyway, so this is the 108th Street project. This is to improve 108th Street from Platteview Road down to Mitchell Road. As the county board's aware, Martin Marietta heavily uses that road, and you know that it's an asphalt road. It's sustained some damage and deterioration over the years, and so I've been working with Martin Marietta along with our planning department, Kelly Jack. Martin Marietta is going to be coming in front of you to ask for an expansion to their property, which is an expansion of a special use permit. We're supportive of that as long as they would contribute to the improvement of 108th Street. So they are committed to covering 50% of the cost of 108th Street for this project. You'll see in a few weeks that special use permit come to you along with that road agreement. Remember, in this area, it's likely to be sewered by the sewer agency someday. And so those properties on the east and west side of 108th, we have the opportunity to recapture the remaining cost of this road once those developments occur, but that might be sometime in the distance depending upon the sewer. So we did receive 7 bids for this project. Again, Graham was the low bid. They've been very aggressive. They've worked on the Cape Hart Road project. They've worked on the Platteview Road project. They're currently doing the 168th and Giles intersection expansion project that should be done here in the next few weeks. Their bid was $1,257,448. High bid was 1.7, and then the engineer's estimate was about 1.45. We hope, because again, it's a fairly straightforward project with not a lot of traffic, we'll detour Martin Marietta temporarily while this is constructed, but they should have it constructed by the end of this year. And I do want to correct myself, Bonnie, when we do get these, the purchasing office does ask for a letter from the consulting engineer and the county engineer's office if they support the low bid, and you have those letters in your packet. So.
Any questions for Scott?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by
Second.
Commissioner Klug, second by Commissioner Kelly. Any discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion approved.
7.8 is Resolution 2024-183, award the professional services agreement for the 108th Street improvements, Mitchell Road to Platteview Road, Project C-7723-14 to Kirkham Michael and Associates, Inc., in the amount of $153,161. Scott Bovick, Deputy Administrator.
Received 5 proposals from engineering firms on this project. Kirk Michael is actually the designing engineer on it, and so felt like they had the most knowledge and the best pricing, and so recommend the board engage them to assist in construction management.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by
Second.
Commissioner Klug, second by Commissioner Kelly. Any discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion carries.
Item 7.9 is Resolution 2024-169, award the low bid for the Rehow Road intersection improvements, Project C-7721-08 to Constructors, Inc., in the amount of $900,104.28. Scott Bovick, Deputy Administrator.
This is an improvement to where Rehow Road connects to Highway 50. You can see on the map how there's an offset diagonal intersection there. It's very problematic for traffic that's going southbound on Highway 50 to try to exit safely. You got to slow down so much that the vehicles behind you are right on top of you, slowing almost to a stop. Additionally, for vehicles that want to go northbound from Rehow Road onto Highway 50, that's a dangerous turn because you got a slanted view. And so this project will be realigning, adding a deceleration lane, then realigning that intersection so that vehicles turning left can see both ways. This is a little bit expensive just because to add that deceleration lane, there's a culvert that needs to be extended. We want to improve the roadway down there for some of the businesses in that area and the traffic. So we did get 7 bids on this one. Again, we're getting lots of bids, very competitive bids. Constructors, Inc. was the low at $908,000. The engineer's estimate was at that $1,083,000, so about $150,000, $200,000 less than engineer's estimate. Again, this is a project that should be done by the end of this year, and JEO has been the design engineer. We've worked with the property owners in the area, the Jensen Gardens business. We had to work with them to acquire some right-of-way, so they're well aware that this change will be occurring down there in that area. Happy to answer any questions you have.
Just on the map there, Scott, so where it used to exit off north of the proposed intersection, is that going to be closed, or?
If you can see, that will go away because this will be a deceleration lane. And then, whether that will be blocked off or the pavement removed, I don't know. But then you can see that they have a secondary farm access to this property, so that will be accommodated for them.
Thank you.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Klug. Any discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion carried.
Item 7.10 is Resolution 2024-168, Task Order R191129.05 to the Master Services Agreement previously approved by Resolution 2014-90 with JEO Consulting Group, Inc. for construction administration services for the Rehow Road intersection improvements, Project C-7721-08 in the amount of $154,878. Scott Bovick, Deputy Administrator.
And this is an agreement with JEO to do construction administration on this. JEO's been involved from the beginning, helping us work through the NDOT process to find something that would be acceptable to them, that would meet all their requirements. And so as part of this construction oversight, they'll continue to coordinate with the Nebraska Department of Transportation to make sure that this works. So happy to answer any questions.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Klug, second by Commissioner Kelly. Any discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion carries.
Item 7.11 is Resolution 2024-167, award the low bid for various concrete panel repairs, Project C-7725-02, to Swain Construction, Inc. in the amount of $509,510. Scott Bovick, Deputy Administrator.
Thank you. Each year, the county board sets aside $500,000 to do concrete panel repairs throughout the county. We do go through and try to identify areas that we think are needed, and so you can see on the map the general areas that we'll work on there. We did get 6 bids for this project. Swain was the low, and the high bid was $1.1 million. So again, we're getting very good bids. And then again, on the map, you can kind of see that general vicinity. And then I would just encourage the board, if you have any areas that come up during the year, let me know. We can let the county engineer's office know. We can make sure that's part of the next package that we do next year.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Klug, second by Commissioner Kelly. Was 25th Street in that list somewhere?
What's that?
Was it 25th that we talked about before?
25th Street, what we're looking at there's 2 sections. There's one that's north of Highway 370 that needs to be overlaid. And so we're putting that in a package to overlay that and maybe add some shoulders. And then there's another stretch of 25th Street further down, just north of Cape Hearth, that needs some attention. And so I think that's another area that we're looking for a mill and overlay. It wouldn't be spot repair, it'd just be an overlay of that entire stretch.
Thank you, Scott. Any other discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion carried.
Item 7.12 is Resolution 2024-181, proposal for material testing services for various concrete panel repairs, Project C-7725-02, with Thiel Geotech, Inc. in the amount of $15,760. Scott Bovick, Deputy Administrator.
So this is to hire Teal just to do the materials testing. We're not able to perform that work in-house, and so they're a great partner. They do that all the time for us on various projects. The rest of the work will just be overseen by in-house staff at the county engineer's office. So we don't need a consulting engineer to help us on this one. They can handle this small project.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Kelly, second by Commissioner Klug. Any discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion approved.
Item 7.13 is Resolution 2024-177, LPA Program Agreement, Federal Aid Funds, State of Nebraska Department of Transportation, MAPA Project 3813-3, 168th Street Highway 370 to Harrison Street. Scott Bovick, Deputy Administrator.
Thank you. So as the board knows, all federal transportation dollars go from the federal government to the state government. Then the state government distributes it to locals. If you're an entity that resides in a metro area, that goes to your metro area planning agency. Ours is as MAPA. And so what this agreement is an agreement between the county and the Department of Transportation, signed off to and agreed by MAPA, to be able to position us to access any and all federal funding for the 168th Street project. The board has been designing this project, locally funding the federal process to make sure that we remain eligible for federal funds. And this is a key step in having the state endorse our project as eligible for federal funds. It does not have any money at this point from the state, but it does position us well. You can see the number in there, total estimated cost to expand that whole corridor to 4 lanes, replace all the bridges, improve all the intersections is $81 million. It's probably the high end of our federal allotment. And then we also have to commit to a match. It does place the county engineer's office as the responsible charge, so they will be required to comply with all MAPA state and federal regulations. And if those aren't complied with, then there's a risk that the county would have to pay those funds back or forfeit those funds. We do have Schemmer Associates, who's been a partner with us from the get-go on this. They've been following the federal process to make sure that we remain eligible. So this is the LPA agreement, local public agency. The other news that goes with this, Commissioner Burmeister is currently on the MAPPA board. All of you have served on the MAPPA board and have been sharing this message with MAPPA that this is an important project. And so we just learned that likely here in a couple months, MAPPA will notify us that we are going to get $27 million set aside in federal funds from MAPPA that can go towards this project, likely in 2031. And so that's good news. That gives us the green light to really get aggressive on moving this project forward. So that I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Kelly, second by Commissioner Klug. Any discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion carried.
Item 7.14 is Resolution 2024-176, LPA Program Agreement, Federal Aid Funds, MAPPA Project 7772, State Control Number 22951 for Sarpy County Panel Repair on Platteview Road. Scott Bovick, Deputy Administrator.
Last item. So this is also a local public agency agreement. We already did receive an award from MAPPA in the amount of $1,250,000 to do concrete panel repairs on Platteview Road from 84th Street to 27th Street. Those were improvements that we knew we needed to make, so we applied through MAPPA to get additional funding. We've got that. This is the agreement that we need to have in place with the NDOT and MAPPA. And then the next step is just to pursue the design federal process and try to get these improvements done, hopefully next year, construction season. Happy to answer any questions about that.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Klug. Any questions or discussion? Please vote.
Thank you, Scott.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon, motion carried.
Items 8.1 and 8.2 are executive sessions for pending litigation and deployment of security personnel or devices.
For the protection of the public interest, I move that we go into executive session to discuss pending litigation and deployment of security personnel or devices.
Is there a second? I'll second it.
Hold on.
Motion to go into executive session for pending litigation and deployment of security personnel or devices, made by Commissioner Klug, seconded by Commissioner Burmeister. Any discussion? Please vote if you're able.
Ayes 5, nays none.
Sounds great.
How did I get back?
Now, 4:38 PM. At 4:16 PM, we went into executive session where our discussion was restricted to pending litigation and deployment of security personnel or devices. Need a motion that we return to regular session.
So moved.
Second.
Motion to return to regular session by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Klug. Any discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Nixon.
All agenda items having been addressed as published, the Board of Commissioners is adjourned.
Thanks, Deb.